Boom. Okay, so this is just a review of yesterday. Not this, because you should already have it, but just this idea of how a living thing comes to be in existence. This thing they call the central dogma of biology. So it's this idea of going from DNA information to something called RNA to making a protein, which is this right here. This thing is a protein, a big collection of proteins, right? So is that, so is that, so is that, right? That's what a living thing is. We're mostly our structure, or it's our skin, muscle, bones, tendons, ligaments. That's mostly protein. That's what makes, like Braden's glorious hair here. It's all protein, right? There's information in his DNA to produce that stuff. And this is how it works, right? It makes this thing called RNA. Then the RNA is used to make that stuff coming out of Braden's head. Same with HLAD and Frogster. And Bryce over there. Bryce. Pay attention, sir. Had your phone in there? Huh?
Why is that? Why do you have to
What?
Never mind.
She said, why is that stick so long?
This is my COVID space detector. See? It's 6 feet. As long as I stay that far from Braden, I'm safe.
I was gonna say that's 2 yardsticks.
Didn't we have this discussion before?
No.
Yeah, we did.
Wasn't it this class where you tried to tell me that it wasn't 6 feet because I overlapped the?
No.
All right, there you go. Write this down. It wasn't this class?
Nice.
It's definitely not 6 feet.
I think it was Sydney, probably.
It was me. Sydney.
And I had to make a point that this was a meter stick and not a yard stick.
That still doesn't make sense.
And then a meter is actually about it's 3 inches longer. So I had to overlap it.
I
Make it
still don't
6 feet.
understand how you overlapped it 6 inches. Or how much did you overlap it?
It's 6 inches shorter than the both of them combined. That way it's actually 6 feet. Because if it was 2 meter sticks end to end, it would be like 6 feet, 6 inches.
Okay, but if it's like 3 inches longer, how can you just under 3 inches?
Sydney, what?
Sometimes she gets the brain damage.
She's not that smart though.
I see what she's saying. That's a good point too. I see what you're saying.
Kidding, Sydney.
All right. Sydney's one of these people. I think Sydney's one of these people that's way smarter than she tries to let on. I don't know why. I don't know why she is, but she is. So, I never really understood that. I've seen it a lot in 30 years of teaching. There's a lot of kids that are really smart, but they seem to not want people to know it. I don't know why. So RNA differs from DNA in 3 major ways. So I'll show you some more. I'll show you a little quick video, but so these are the 3 different ways. RNA has ribose sugar, DNA has deoxyribose sugar. Again, these are things like, I know you might say, why is that? Or you ask me why. There's no answer really to that question. It's like, why is the sky blue? Or why is there a sun and an earth? And it just is, right? There's this thing called RNA involved in making living things, and it has certain differences than DNA, and it's just the way it is. It does not have thymine. And I'll show you in a minute, if you were to look at a molecule of RNA, you will not see the letter T. It doesn't have thymine. It has a very similar piece called uracil. So there are no T's, there's only a U's. And it base pairs, like A normally pairs with what? T, but when DNA and RNA are working together, the A pairs with U because there is no T. And again, you'll see this in a minute. And then the RNA is single-stranded, like this model right here. If I showed you this and said, is this DNA or RNA, you should say it's DNA because if it was RNA, it would only have one side. RNA is not double-sided like DNA is. So this is the 3 key differences between RNA and DNA. And Just, you don't need to jot down everything here, but I want you to write this down. There are 3 different RNAs. There's one called messenger RNA. And just write its function. You don't have to write where it at, but mRNA, and it carries DNA information. That's its job. Okay. mRNA, it's called, or messenger RNA. It's a messenger. It carries a message. It carries DNA message from the DNA out to the ribosome. Second kind, you should, but like I said, write down the type and the function. You don't need to write down the. Okay, the second kind is called transfer or tRNA. And it transfers amino acids to the ribosome. So again, I'll show you this in a minute. Again, more about how this works. And then, again, don't write down the function in, just write what its function is. And again, you don't need to write provides linkage, just write transfers amino acids to ribosome. So you have mRNA, which carries DNA sequence information, tRNA, which transfers amino acids to ribosomes, and lastly is the kind called ribosomal RNA, which actually is what makes a ribosome. Ribosomes are actually made of RNA. So there's 3 kinds of RNA in living organisms: mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. That's what they do. We're mostly going to be concerned with messenger RNA. That's what we're going to be talking about for the next few minutes. Okay. Good? No. Slow riders. Bryce, cover that nose. You're spewing germs all over Kristen's back. I know Chris has got cooties to begin with, but still. Oh, your mom sent me another message, Chris. Oh, it was a laughing face. I asked next mom if I could smack him in the head last period. She said, go for it. In which case, I smacked him in the head. There you go. All right. Watch this video next. I'll put that back up so you have it in a minute. But this is a great video. It will really help you understand what we're talking about.
Comes from its DNA.
What were you watching mice in? What were they doing?
He's really good. McDonald's.
Why is this frozen? All right, here we go.
I'm like, you have the only good stuff. I never thought about it. I think that's
Leo.
Aiden.
Leo went up to the library today.
What is going on here?
Leo, I think it's Ellie. Because everyone was spelling their names out today, different names. Leo wants up there, Ellie.
Sometimes maybe they don't know how to explain it. You can spell my last
I think I'm gonna have to pause this thing.